What is up, Podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast, and my name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony.
Tony, are you in?
I am. And Nate?
Yes, I'm in. Are you in?
Are you further down the river? Are we going further
Nate?
down the river? Are you Nate?
Is this a warning?
We're back. Yeah, we're back. We're doing the damn thing. We're nerding out about music. It's a weekly thing for us for the most part. I mean, it's a daily thing, but it's recorded wise, it's a weekly thing, and we're back to do the damn thing again tonight.
Still here, never left. Have we done an Incubus episode? I think we did. We did Make Yourself.
Have. We did, yeah. We interviewed the band. I say in quotation marks. We didn't interview them, but we came up with questions we would have asked them around Make Yourself forever ago. Episode 30 something, 2, 3, 4, something like that.
Ooh, it's like a demo episode. Rough cut.
I'm going to say one thing, and I'm not going to add any context. I'm going to leave it at this. There's an alternate reality of this podcast where we would have had a member of Incubus on, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, there's this reality where I think we could do that as well. I'm not sure if it's ever off the table per se. I'd love to talk to any of the guys at Incubus, but we're gonna do it just the three of us tonight. So if you clicked on it looking for Brandon, he's not here, unfortunately, and Mike also not here. Jose, DJ Kilmore, no Dirk Lance. We've tried. We have actually tried with Dirk.
But Nate will take his shirt off if we want him to.
Yeah. Nate's already half shirtless. If you guys were wondering, listening there at Audio Land, if that's for the Patreon.
What's the liner notes for Brandon Boyd? Brandon Boyd in parentheses, invisible floating torso man. I think is one of the names in there.
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. But so yeah, we're gonna talk Incubus's Morning View, which was the follow-up to Make Yourself, and we took a little longer in between records to talk the two records, but we're gonna do it tonight. We've got I'm fighting off the flu, whatever the fucking virus is going around the Northeast right now. I've got my Hall's cough drops next to me. I needed some SoCal sun in my life, and I'm getting it from this record tonight.
I think, hey, if this is an album that's gonna flip that, it's this Morning View, Malibu Beach House. That album cover. I mean, we'll deep dive all this shit, but Nate, have you been to where the cover is? The album cover?
I almost put money on one of you guys were going to ask that because obviously I was a big nerd and scoping out everything and anything. I spent some time in Malibu and yeah, I definitely drove by went to the street. Do
you have a photo of it? Are you just standing under it? Look at me.
No, I just drove down the road. I didn't know where the house was. I should have just Googled what's the actual address, but I definitely went down that road for sure. That street.
I don't know if you guys, there's an Instagram account that goes to where iconic music related photos, like photos of bands. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. I have. Yeah.
And they take a modern photo. Nate, you should have done that, dude.
I know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, when you were in SoCal, man, there was plenty of places to do that, and we don't have as many of them here in Maine. It's all just a picture of Gateway Studios, right? They were here at one point mastering their record. This record included. Shout out Maine.
Maine on top. It's a Morning View. Where do we want to start? We want to talk memories. We want to talk.
Let's start. Yeah, early memories.
Where the band was. Let's talk memories. So,
yeah,
Nate, I think you were Mr. Incubus in 01.
Yeah, that checks for sure. I mean, even my dad's like, you look like the singer from Incubus. I'm like, I think that's on purpose. Dressing the same and all that stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. I collected all of that shit, posters, all the CDs. Definitely saw them live a ton. I think at the time, this is 01. I think 2001, Rage Against the Machine aside, this probably was my favorite band at that time, in that era. Mr. Incubus, I have not heard that. But
well, also, I remember you being like, when Incubus attacks, the fucking Family Values, New Skin,
yeah,
Fungus Among Us. I feel like that was kind of your Science, Make Yourself, that was your era.
Yeah, no, and I had all the T-shirts, and yeah, dude, I would go on eBay and just buy Incubus. I would just search Incubus and watch Incubus shit and buy it. So yeah, I have it all. All that stuff's in storage or at, your house.
Yeah, it could be here. Yeah, I'm sure there's some of it here for sure. But yeah, that tracks. I would agree with you, Twan, and having known both of you for a very long time now, I remember that there were different periods in our music fandom coming up that we were like, oh yeah, that's a band that Nate likes, that's a band that Anthony likes, that's a band that Tony likes. But Incubus was definitely one that Nate probably would have not pushed on me because they kind of got huge just before this record dropped, right? So we all kind of knew of them and were into them as a, group of teenagers, 16, 17 years old, when they were getting ready to drop this record on us. But a huge fan going into this. And I remember being super stoked for it to drop, this record to drop on its own and get into it on the nerd level like we did at that time.
I remember getting a day of Bull Moose, Portland. There was a car full of us that went to Bull Moose right after school. And I feel like, Nate, you were in that car.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah, and I feel like, who else is, there were 5 of us. It was a packed car. I forget who drove. I forget all that stuff. We went to get this record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the best part about getting the record on the day, too, is you usually get like a poster, or back then at least, you get some kind of freebie. I think it was a poster. I don't even know anymore.
Oh, shit. I have a flat. I have a 12 by 12 flat.
12 by 12 flats. A lot of those back then. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I remember just being stoked. Was that a midnight run?
No, it was after school. Because this was what, October?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing a fall sport in 01.
I was.
I ditched cross country. Sorry.
I was playing football. So I don't think I was in that car, unfortunately. I was probably on my way to football practice.
Yeah, I remember I picked up a copy for myself and my girlfriend at the time. And it's funny enough, this album cycle and promotional run for this record spanned so long that I bought the record again for the girlfriend after that.
Oh, wow.
There were like 3 in between. You got to support the scan, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the reason they went fucking platinum in the first.
They'd had 17 copies of this in his car just to give to the next girl.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who it was.
The 6-disc CD changer was all Morning View.
Yeah. On a different song.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Two gas tanks, 2 6 CD changers.
If you know, on the 2 gas tank.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've filled both gas tanks before on the way back from a show, so I know.
But dude, this time was like amazing because at this point they were everywhere. Like Make Yourself had popped, and a lot of it, like if you look at the actual sequence, Drive didn't come out too far before this. Like they milked the Make Yourself cycle, and then I think I read that like Drive was what like gave them kind of legs. Like that's what really put them, because like what was up Make Yourself? It was the singles. It was Pardon Me, Drive, and Stellar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Murderer's Row of singles.
One Drive was TRL, right? It was all over MTV. So that definitely got more people, as I like to say, under the tent.
You got to do something funky with that voice. I
will. Yeah, that's why I was quiet and got up close to the mic.
Under the tent.
But yeah, and I feel like a decent chunk of the female audience came in with Drive, Stellar, Drive, and then onto this record. So, I mean, there weren't a lot of our, cohort at that time on the female side listening to Science, right? That was us. But there were definitely people who were digging on Drive and then digging on the next like iteration of the band of going past.
You think they came in with Drive and Stellar?
I think,
and not the shirtless front man.
Well, that was, yeah, but yes, the shirtless frontman at a Science, on tour for Science is a little different than the shirtless frontman singing in Drive or Stellar, right? That's the point. I mean, they didn't take notice listening to New Skin or Anti-Gravity, right? There wasn't a lot of that then. There was 3 years later when they were all over MTV and Drive was blowing up while they were getting ready to drop this.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. I think when I started seeing AOL Instant Messenger away messages, and it was, my crush is Brandon Boyd, and it's like, dude, it was out of dude, since when?
I had this in my notes, Nate.
Oh, really?
Is that you couldn't go a single day without seeing an away message or a buddy icon or profile, something about this band in this era, whether it was Make Yourself or Morning View, and it was like Echo or Stellar or whatever it was.
Yeah, a lot of times it was Stellar.
Yeah, it was just, and that goes back to your point, Tony, which is it permeated male and female. Like this was huge. Out of any band that came from, let's just call it new metal. They don't think they came from there, but I'm going to say, yeah, they came from new metal, Family Values Tour, Science, blah, blah, blah. No band that came from that scene permeated more with both male and female than these guys.
Absolutely. And I think good for them. Like there wasn't, there weren't a lot of other bands from that scene that turned that way and started making music that sounded like this and still popped off and got more people to listen to them because it was cool to throw the Incubus CD on when it was your boys and it was Science, but like you got the girlfriend in the car, okay, yeah, throw on Make Yourself, throw on Morning View. They're okay with that. Like, okay, we're both getting something out of this. I'm not just having to listen to whatever boy band of the time, right? So they weren't a boy band, right? There was guitars and some heaviness and some different stuff musically there that you would get from that, and that I think that's why it worked as well as it did in that time for sure.
Do you think they saw the success of Make Yourself coming?
No.
Like after recording it, they put it out. They lead with Pardon Me, which is a great song. That's not going to get you to the promised land. That alone, right?
No.
And then
I
it's Stellar,
agree.
then it's Trap. Yeah, I don't think they did. I think this is like read and react. And now like we're up here. Now we kind of have to deliver to up here. Like we can't go back to Science. We can't.
Yeah.
So I think they leaned into, I mean, I'll say, I think Morning View is Make Yourself, a safe Make Yourself part 2, but like more commercial, right?
Yeah. Yeah. To the point of Drive being the last single on the promotional run for Make Yourself, right? And Stellar being the second single, really, when you think about the lyrical content of that song, it's like, well, it's about basically love. And Science had Science had some stuff like that too. What is it? Something love song. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my tongue. But I think
is it Anti-Gravity Love Song?
Anti-Gravity Love Song. Yeah, exactly. Like a jazzy number. It's really cool, actually. But I think it kind of like maybe that was like mapped out ahead of time. I don't really know because when you listen to Make Yourself, I know we're talking about Morning View. The record isn't like that at all, with the exception of like those 2 singles, Drive and Stellar. Everything else is pretty rock and roll. And then Morning View, it's following those footsteps for sure. Like it just kind of like blends in almost like a perfect segue. So I can see that this was like, all right, we're there. This is where we left off. We're not going to leave off on Call It like nowhere fast on Make Yourself and then jump into Nice to Know You. We're probably going to go circles or something,
But they would tell you that it's nothing like Make Yourself. I read a little bit of that today in prep for this. They were like, no, it's completely different. And I mean, respectfully disagree. This is not, it's not, I wouldn't call it necessarily 2.0, but it's definitely more like, let's get this in front of as many ears as possible and lean into having everybody be into it versus the niche that liked Science or even, parts of Make Yourself.
Yeah, because there are, we'll get into the record itself because I had some observations like listening. I probably listened to it like 3 times leading up to this. And there's a few songs that, well, there's a number of songs that play into where they came from and then to where they're going. Like it's a, dare I say, a stair step album. It's a handshake album, right?
Yeah.
But like they got fucking huge off this record.
Massive.
I mean, we saw them in Portland in 2002, Civic Center, 8,000 cap. So it was no longer fucking Family Values tour. It was Incubus headlining and Phantom Planet opening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So they actually lived their words in like, hey, we're gonna depart from that world, right? Because they could have taken anyone out on that tour. My guess is Phantom Planet was a label. What's that?
The Civic Tour, right? That was a Civic tour.
Was it the Civic Tour? Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember physically running into Dave Gutter at that show. It was the last day of school, junior year, and I had finished my last final or whatever, and I was like, sick, I'm going to see Incubus tonight at the Civic Center on the Civic Tour, but no relation. And, just walking out of the show and turning left and walking into Dave Gutter and then, later friend of the pod. Go listen to episode 280 if you haven't. But yeah, it was everybody that was like into music from that time in Southern Maine was at that show. I feel like we were all there. It was like the start of summer for all of us. It was amazing.
Yep. And I remember I saw Incubus on the Make Yourself touring cycle off of an Ozfest date, I think it was. They played with Shovel. I don't know if you guys were at that show. Can't remember. But then like that 2002, like you said, the Civic Center show, again, plays right into it. It's like, well, Make Yourself. They're still kind of small, I guess. I mean, last time they came to Maine before, that was opening for Korn at the Lewiston Civic Center, Colisee. So now they're headlining, but they're still playing theaters. Now they have this like massive album that's a little bit more polished and maybe, as to what we were saying earlier, conducive to like a maybe more of a spectrum of an audience, and like now they're playing arenas. It was a big departure in like so many ways as a fan, but also like, oh, like fuck, like I just saw you at the State Theater down the road a year and a half ago. Now you're playing the arena. Like it's not like a sellout moment as a fan, but you're like, what the fuck? This is my band. Like what the hell happened?
Yeah, that happens though. Especially as it's always this like, I want you to stay at the theater, but I also understand why a band doesn't want to stay at the theater. They want to go get bigger and want to make money, especially in this time, because there was money to be made in the industry at this time to an extent, right? I mean, there's always a little bit of the labels doing the funky deals, but they were on that kind of rocket ship that we talked about with numerous bands over the course of the podcast, and they were squarely on it at that point, and we're just heading straight up, with the end of the Make Yourself cycle into the Morning View cycle.
The thing is, though, at 16, I didn't understand and get that. It was like resentment for these bands that made the leap, which at 40, I'm like, hell yeah, get the bag. Like, we'll get into this because there's a point I want to make a little later, but like, we'll get into this. It really is not that much different than Make Yourself. I really don't. I used to think there was a huge gap. Listening to it and prep for this, there's songs that could have absolutely been on Make Yourself.
Under My Umbrella.
Under My Umbrella.
Oh,
Circles.
Love that song. Circles. Yeah.
Nice to Know You.
Yep.
Blood on the Ground. Have You Ever? Like
there's some heaviness there still.
It all could have been, even like sonically, like the Killmore element, the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I actually wrote a lot of those notes in those same exact songs, so I'm with you.
Weird. We all agree. All right.
Yeah.
And
no
the thing
fighting
is, though,
today, boys.
They steered the ship for the direction they were going with the optics of the record. Like, think about this. If they put out this record, it was not called Morning View. It was like intergalactic space, Brandon Boyd's, little funky room that he had on, whatever it was. And it was like interstellar optics. You would be transported back to Make Yourself. The fact that it's like a Malibu beach, the whole narrative of, renting the house, Morning View, all that, leading with a single they did, the music video, you're in top 40 territory, I think.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, the optics for sure.
It's basically like...
No dreadlocks, right? No more dreadlocks.
Yeah. Well, we cut them off like during...
Make Yourself. You're right.
Make Yourself.
He did.
But still, I know what you're saying. In fact, yeah. This is like, very much so like I hate to say it was a record label play, but you're right, because it is a Make Yourself, not 2.0, but there's a lot of similarities. But the optics and the promotional, like how we're going to market this, hey, this is what we're going to do. You guys have the songs conducive to it. You were at Malibu. This is the album, cover artwork. Let's go in this direction. It reminds me of like Green Day, American Idiot. It's like, yeah, you were that for Warning, but we're doing this now. And they're like, okay, like, fuck it. Why not? I mean, let's play arenas now. Like we've been opening for Korn for years now.
I will fight you a little bit on that. The label didn't want them to rent the house.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the label wanted them to do the traditional like pre-production stuff and then get into the studio. And they're like, no, we want to do this in a house. We want to be near a beach. We want to be able to, when we take a break, just walk down to the beach for 2 hours, that type of stuff. So a little of that was on them, which, good for them for doing the thing that they wanted to do in a time when it was hard to do that, probably because a lot of money was being thrown your way to do it the label's way. But they were like, no, we want to do it this way, which is pretty cool, I think. It gives them a little bit more of that artistic integrity, even though it felt like this was made for the masses, sort of, right? Not completely, sort of.
Yeah, it's so interesting because if they were, I don't think you can call them a sellout. Let's just get that. I don't think you can. I think think about it, guys. A top 40 rock band couldn't even sniff Aqueous Transmission. Like they wouldn't even go there.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. They wouldn't go there. And even like some of the lyrical choices, right? My garbage truck beeps as it backs up. It's like,
yeah.
That's just because they were at the house.
Choices.
They heard the garbage truck. I mean, some of the lyrics on this record, I think, are very much of what Brandon heard and saw around him.
Yes,
from being in that house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Just a Face, he doesn't even start singing until 2 minutes and 22 seconds into the song. So that goes, that's not a top 40 move at all.
No,
like,
you're not going to put that on the radio.
He just like harmonizes in the yeah. That's not a top 40 move.
I had to like write it down, like, wow, he's still not singing, and I had to like scratch out the 1 and put a 2. It's still in a minute 2 now. Holy shit!
Is that the one that starts with "I am bottled fizzy water"? Is that one?
Yeah,
also not. I mean, they were feeling themselves in a good way, and I think you're right, Anthony. It's hard to call it a sellout because they did those things. And it's not, I think the rollout was like that of a sellout type band, but the record is not that of a sellout type band at all.
Well, if we want to talk sellout, here's an interesting tidbit. My brother's friend, we went to high school with this girl, Andrea. It's her older brother, Joe. He was a massive Incubus fan, but during the Science era. So when Make Yourself dropped, he's like, fuck them. They sold out. And I'm like, really? Because now this is like my favorite band. Like, dude, this band rocks. And I knew Science, but Make Yourself was when I discovered them. So I kind of did the thing we always do, right? You go back to like the old records and you're like, that is pretty solid, but Make Yourself is happening right now. And I'm a fan right now. So this is my thing. So I think that if there's anyone that's calling Incubus a sellout, it was that transformation from Science to Make Yourself, because that's also a leap, or that is the leap. If we're being honest,
I think it's a way bigger leap than Make Yourself to Morning View.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's likely because it's a smaller span of time. Science is 97, right?
Yeah.
Make Yourself is 2000, and this record's 01, really. Oh, wait. No, Make Yourself is 99.
99.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's gnarly.
Insanity.
Well, and you're right, Nate. There's a group of people who knew this band early and didn't like them after Science because they weren't the same band. I think I'm a little bummed they don't ever come back to that kind of sound because Science is all time for me, but I understand why they didn't, and they grew as artists and wanted to do something different and wanted to be a little more palatable for more people. There's nothing wrong with that. To also be weird and do aqueous transmission and do 2 minutes of harmonizing before a song starts, they're still taking chances. They're still doing stuff that's a little funky, but they grew up a little bit. Like they didn't want to make, a certain shade of green again. I get that. That makes sense. You can do that once. You don't necessarily need to do that for 7 straight records.
It would be a completely different storyline for them if they went Science, did Make Yourself, and said, you know what? We're not making that leap, right? We're going to lean whole hog into the new metal stuff. It would be a different band. I don't even know who the comparative would be, but it would not be where they are now.
I think the comparative would have been, had they run with it a little bit longer, would be like 311 when they did like the 5 Pete. If they had just like kind of kept it between Make Yourself and now we're going Incubus deep dive. If they kept it like Make Yourself Science era and just kind of dragged it out a little bit longer, and even into Morning View, sans maybe like Wish You Were Here, because that song is likely maybe the biggest departure on the whole record. It's just like, wait, what is this? Okay,
that's a radio song. Yeah,
it's a single.
Exactly, it's a single for sure.
So guys, picture this: you put on the record, you skipped a track 2. It's a track called Circles. You close your eyes. The first 45 seconds, what are you feeling?
I said this in my head. I didn't write it down, but I wanted to because it was one note that I wanted to come back to numerous times.
I think you're gonna say it.
Well, it's an all-time guitar tone. I don't think I am saying. I think it's their guitar tone is all time.
And who does it remind you of?
No, I don't. I didn't get any reminder from that. That song just reminds me of that time listening to them.
I'm telling you, put it on right now. We can pause this. Put it on right now. First 45 seconds.
I hear in my head. I got nothing. Tell me.
Nate will get it.
No way.
100%. Can't miss it.
Well, I missed it, so.
You won't. Once I say it, you'll be like, holy fuck.
Did you say first 45 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
The magic of editing. 45 seconds later.
A few moments later. 2,000 years later. 1 eternity later.
It only took me like a few seconds. It's definitely Tom Morello.
Tom Morello, Battle of LA era.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit.
On the dot. It's crazy. So
but like with the Incubus tone, I think the guitar tone is different.
I'm telling you, it's Battle of LA Rage on the fucking nose. And that's why if a band wants to go full sellout, we want to be the next Coldplay, they're not going to drop gems like that. I just don't think. No. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And there is some, not taking from Tom Morello, but there is some, maybe hat tipping to that. But I think the tone of guitar from that band from this time frame, I don't think anybody else sounds like them. Like you can put a song on, it's them immediately. This one included. I know you get the Rage vibe from it, but really all of, whether it be acoustic or plugged in, I think, that's Incubus. and it doesn't. That was my biggest nostalgia hit every time I put this on, and most recently today to listen to it to get ready was I'm right back in my car listening to Incubus in 2001, in the Blue Hornet 5-speed.
Yeah, I think Mike has his signature sound, which is cool. Like we've talked about this before, where it's like amazing that you can have your own sound this far in the game. This was 2001, so like to have your own sound that far in is, I think, is insane because everything's already been done. I feel like even at that point now, everything's especially been done. But I agree with what we just little test Twan gave me on who does that sound like. Well, it's fucking Tom Morello all day.
Why then? I disagree. I'm out. I'm a loser of the evening.
Agree to disagree. But then again, like this band's influences are Rage Against the Machine and bands like that. Brandon Boyd's influences are Chris Cornell and Mike Patton and all these people. So it makes sense, right? Like they came right before them, so that's who they're pulling from.
Yeah, I agree. And I had never thought of Circles being a rage rip. So I learned something new tonight. I'll go back and listen
with different ears.
Wish You Were Here, obvious single. Great track though. I don't know if I need to hear it, on repeat like I did back in 01, 02, whatever. But great song. Like that was the one to lead with for sure.
Yeah, no, they picked the right one. And I heard they had to redo the video. First video was nixed. I read that somewhere.
What was the first video?
They didn't like the theme. I think Brandon ended up jumping off a bridge, running away from fans, something like that. It may have been this one, it may have been the next single, but there was one of the singles from this record that they had to redo the video. And there was another video that was only in Europe because it was sensual in nature. The Are You In video.
Yeah. No, you're right. I read that too. It's because it was by the time they were dropping the video, it was too close to the 9/11 aftermath, and there was just sensitivity there. Makes sense.
Yep.
And the Are You In video, it's funny you say that because we didn't see that on MTV here, but I remember downloading that video on Kazaa or something like that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Or watch. Sorry. Yeah. Allegedly. Saw it somewhere.
Your friend did it. It wasn't you. It was your friend at your friend's house.
My neighbor.
Yeah, it was Joe. It was your older brother's friend Joe.
No, it was his neighbor Kid Rock.
Kid Rock did it. Yeah. He's already a felon, so.
In the treehouse, what?
For those at home, Nate had a neighbor that we called Kid Rock growing up, and I don't even remember why.
Yeah, well, he looked like him.
He looked like him.
He looked like Bob.
And he had questionable politics.
Maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, man.
Hey, let's talk DJ Kilmore. He cooks on this album.
Absolutely.
He cooked on Make Yourself. He cooks like, I never noticed till like sitting down listening to this. Most of the record is so stripped down. It is so bare bones. And then he comes in or he starts a song and he's the X factor. Like he's a cheat code, right?
There are so many points where there's a sound that you're like, that doesn't belong on this record per se, but it fits perfectly and it's definitely Kilmore. Like it's like you wouldn't get this from a guitar, bass, drums, whatever, but you're getting it and it sounds awesome and it fits in. Like when they finally come in on Just a Phase, the little scratching he does, there's a couple of spots in Under My Umbrella that are like loud kind of, I don't even know what the fuck to call them, but they add to the heaviness of the song when they get kind of loud with the riff. Oh man, it's just like without him, those little added pieces, sections, sounds, influences, they're just the icing on the cake of this, really epic record.
Well, Wish You Were Here. The wow. Clip that shit. Yeah, like you take that out, it would almost feel hollow, right? It would almost feel the hollow. No, it would feel like it's missing something.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because I can't think of a whole lot of bands. I know like the DJ element to this scene was pretty big. You got DJ Han with Linkin Park that also does like kind of layering effect, like that adds a little bit more. I don't know what it is, emphasis to the song, or
and
just,
you do it like this,
like what's needed. But like you were saying, it's not necessarily like a verbal cue. It's like a texture, and that texture is that missing element. And without it, I think you're right. It's a good assessment that maybe it would sound empty. So fuck, man, what an interesting time in music, because before that, DJs were a straight up DJ, not a fifth instrument to the band.
I think Incubus uses Kilmore, the DJ, the best of any of the bands that had him.
Yeah,
especially in this time. Yeah. I mean, there's been DJs around, and in hip hop for sure, but talking, from the, I guess, new metal, quote unquote, scene and adjacent, I think his flourishes are the best and add to the record. They're the most additive.
Kilmore, Frank Delgado, Han,
Pretty awesome.
top tier.
DJ Product. Can't forget him.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, I love those types of things when we do these revisits, because you get this extra appreciation for something that you've listened to 100 times, right? I don't know how many times I had this record on in my car, or anytime I got in Nate's car, he tried to hand me another one because he had a bunch for the for the females that were popping in every now and then. But
Oh my gosh.
it was awesome to it's awesome to get that extra layer when we do these exercises, because it's not a thing that 17-year-old Tony ever thought of. He just kind of took it for granted. And now I'm like, that makes the song there, and then, different ways, different arrangements, that type of stuff that you just don't think about the first time you listen to something, or even the 100th time you listen to something, if it's something that was just in your rotation back in the day.
and this is my ignorance. Did they? How much do they tap him on the recent records, like 8 and what was the other one? If not now, when?
I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've listened to any of the newer stuff. I know I listened to 8 when it came out, and I listened to, was it Monuments and Melodies, had like some new songs on it and some older songs on it, and some of the live stuff. I think live they let him cook a little bit too, which is always fun. I know they did in the time, because saw him in 2002, and then saw him again, 2019 they played the State for Make
That's
Yourself.
right. Yeah.
And they let him kind of go off there too. So yeah, I'm not sure about the new stuff. I'd have to go back and listen. It's been a while since I've dug into any of the newer Incubus stuff. I was a fan right through Light Grenades, and then didn't fall off, just only come back to those and tried to get into the newer stuff. But Light Grenades is the last one that I spent a ton of time with.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know where DJ Kilmore stacks on the latter half of the records, but you're right. This record he definitely cooks for sure. Yeah, crazy DJ.
All right. I don't know when the last time you guys listened to this record before ramping up for this, but like when you're listening to Just a Phase, 11 a.m., like the album definitely slows down. Are you guys into it? I remember because I was a big Science and Make Yourself guy. So like those, it was a little too slow, but I feel like dialing it back at 40, I was into it more than I was back then.
I liked Just a Phase and 11 a.m. in the moment, not as much as some of the rockers, but I liked them. I like them more now. Yeah, I'm with you there. And I think part of that is, again, listening to it to try to pull different things out of it from, the previous 100 listens. That helps. And that's the cool thing about, I think, music and movies, right? Like, you don't do that with a lot of other things. Like, I'll reread a book every now and then, but it's been a long time since I've reread a book and been like, I'm glad I reread that. Whereas I'll put a record on for the fucking 1,000th time and pull up something new. And this is no different.
Context is key. We've all these years to live with the context. And as we just said, it's like, yeah, I think this was the only direction they could have gone in. And what comes with that is songs like 11 a.m., Just a Phase.
Yeah, I remember then thinking it was weird that they had so many slower songs consecutive, because it used to just be like, I mean, if we're talking like that era, or even really any band that puts out a collection of songs that's considered a rock band, it's usually just like one ballad song. This is like 4, maybe, if you consider Nice to Know You. Like Just Phase, 11 a.m., Mexico, even Warning's kind of slow at the beginning.
Echo,
so
right into Echo.
Yeah, and Echo. So like as a kid, as like a younger fan, like all of us in the era, coming off of Make Yourself and Science, it's like, I still loved it. I was still obsessed, but I'm like, man, it's getting a little sleepy here for a second. Okay, I mean, I dig it. It's cool. But to your point, like as an older person now, like I guess it's just signs of the times. I do appreciate the slower songs. I've always appreciated the singing element to Brandon and his slower tempo stuff. I love that fast stuff though with Science. I will not deny that. But there's an appreciation to, okay, like this is like legitimate songwriting. This is that direction, whether it be label or this is where we're at. Let's lean into Brandon's not only like amazing singing ability, but writing ability. And this kind of showcases both. So let's ride this while we can.
Well, and how often were they sitting on the beach with a fire going, coming up with,
Yeah.
I'm sure coming up with a few, passing around, the drum circle, passing around a few things, I'm sure.
Did you guys see the MTV Cribs
Oh yeah, I know I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that little room there.
In a long time,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I did in the moment.
Little weed room. I remember wanting to make that. I wanted to replicate that. Like, oh, it's so fucking cool.
Well, I think the other important thing is, and I didn't look exactly, but Brandon Boyd, the internet says he's 50 or 49, right? So this was 25. He was 20. They were 24. So it's
Wow.
not like they're so young that they're super, super impressionable. Like they'd been around for a couple album cycles. It's not like they're deep in their career. Like they're at 24. If I'm seeing where the wave is going, I'm going to ride it. Like if I'm these guys, I don't know. Like I've never been in that position. Yeah, obviously it'd be fun to tour off Science and do Family Values 98, but it's also cool to play 8,000 cap room.
And more, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, was their peak this album commercially? I think it had to have been, right? Or maybe Crow?
Yeah. I don't think Crow, and we said this in text earlier today. I think for me, Crow was like a record that took me a while to get into. And whereas this one, I got from the jump. So I'm not sure if they were any bigger after this one, commercially.
Yeah,
I
don't
think their
they were.
fans loved. I think their fans loved Crow After the Murder and stuck with them for a while after. But this is probably as big as they got commercially. And I mean, it sold almost 250,000 in the first week and
Mhm.
went platinum, and like that just stopped happening as the 2000s wore on.
This is my take on this, and this is obviously like part working in the venues and like industry type stuff, but like commercial success has different layers because this is when they kind of graduated, call it, to like we're gonna play arenas, and then after staying with Crow, because I saw them on the Crow touring cycle, they played. I saw them in Manchester at UNH, and then they started to escalate even more and play sheds. But was it based on the success of those releases? Not at all, right? It's solely based on legacy at that point, and
Legacy and catalog. Yeah.
Legacy catalog and a very, very solid support and opener. So you have two solid, support bands that are going to be able to.
Yeah, like go out with 311. Like you're gonna get people there.
Yeah, because every time anytime Incubus would come to Call It San Diego or when I was in Florida, it's like haven't even listened to the record, and they're playing sheds, and that record clearly is not doing as well as it was in the heyday with like this record per se. So I think it's hard to call like where do they stack up in terms of in that time. I think it's live. It's just like, oh yeah, well we got the legacy and they got the catalog and the support to do it, but I think this might have been their peak if we're calling it for what it is.
And they were still putting on good shows, right? I mean, the show in 2019 was awesome. The last time I saw them, and they've toured since then, obviously. But the last time they came to our neck of the woods, I really enjoyed that show at the State.
So good, and that was 20 years of Make Yourself.
Yeah.
And they toured. I looked up their tour history. They did what 25 years of this, right?
Yeah, 20 years of it probably, right? Because it's 25 this year.
Well, no, I think recently they just did.
Oh, even though it hasn't turned 25 yet. Damn.
Well, I think it was in tandem when they re-recorded the album.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because the re-record is like XXII, which is 23.
Yeah.
Right on.
Maybe we should start doing 23-year anniversary.
We've done a 24 once.
There you go. And I don't know, maybe we can close with that re-recording and maybe dissect the why and all that. I don't know if you guys are up for it in a little bit, but
yeah, just we can keep it brief and as positive as possible.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the heavier songs on here don't feel forced to me, which is when you're trying to do the commercial thing a little bit and you're trying to do the stay artistically, keep your integrity. I think they pull that off perfectly because they're able to still do, Blood on the Ground. They're able to still do Warning is, got some heaviness to it. Obviously, Under My Umbrella, I think might be my favorite deep cut on the record just because of that feels like it could fit on Make Yourself. It feels like it could fit further back because it's got some funkiness to it too. Just pretty cool to be able to still do that stuff, even sandwiched around some of the quieter tracks.
Yeah. Tony, did you think they were sellouts with this?
No, because I was a huge fan in the moment. So
yeah, it's funny. Like I definitely did. Like listening back to it, I'm like, no, the bigger leap was with the previous record, like we said. But I don't know. It's fun to like, we're talking away messages and putting ourselves back in the time. I don't think I had any resentment that like everyone in our high school was a big fan. Like, if anything, it was maybe more of a chance for me to go see them. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they came.
Yeah.
But Nate the purist is like, no, I
Back when
wanted
they
them
came-
at the
when
state. I
Bands
wanted
came
them
to
at,
Maine, and
I know.
I'm kind of in probably in the middle where I'm like, it was my band per se. It's not like I got to discover them pre-science back in like Southern California or something like that. That'd be a different story altogether. But yeah, seeing them at the state in their like whole new metal, full on word, this is an off date from Ozfest type phase is like incredible because we never got that shit. So the fact that I even got, or we got to, or I got to see that was amazing. The only other time I saw Incubus other than that was Circus Magazine. Like, oh, this is a fucking snapshot of that era. This is fucking wild that we even got this. But to your point on like now I get to see him more on this touring cycle, I saw him 3-4 times. I saw him in Civic Center, the Worcester Centrum, and Meadowbrook in New Hampshire.
Damn. Yep.
Before they had seats and everything, it was not a brand new venue, but it was so stripped down. It was just like the full venue was just a lawn. And it was like 5 or 6 days after 9/11. And they handed out candles. And yeah, it was an incredible, one of my favorite shows I've ever seen, actually. But Hoobastank opened that show.
yeah, they didn't play the Portland show, right? I think we talked about that with Doug. I'm not sure if it was on the episode, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, just the fact that the popularity yields more touring and more legs to that tour because they basically came to New England twice for that reason. Otherwise, they would have maybe come once if we're lucky. And to come to Maine at all is at that time was scarce. We haven't seen Incubus in Maine since, right? I don't think.
2019.
Oh, say 2019. Yep. Okay.
You weren't, just because you weren't here doesn't mean it didn't happen, Nate.
I think they played Bangor too, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they've come back to Maine. They just haven't come to Portland in 7 years.
Well, the funny thing about living in San Diego is like San Diego would get skipped just like Maine. It's like always those like corner places. Like they play LA. So like for that anniversary tour, they played LA twice at the Greek Theater, but didn't play San Diego. It's like, this is fucking bullshit. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you with the Sun and other bands coming through pretty regularly. I don't feel as bad.
San Diego's still solid. 4 shows a week you could choose from type stuff.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the set list from when we all saw them at the Civic Center in Portland, Maine in 2002. And you couldn't call them a sellout. There's no way. They played 9 songs off Morning View, 7 off Make Yourself, 4 off Science, and then they covered Like a Virgin by Madonna.
Damn.
Like they
4
played
off Science? Holy shit.
Certain Shade of Green, Glass, New Skin, Vitamin.
Damn, wow. That's awesome.
I will say though, for my money, that was the optimal peak time to see this band. Like that, yeah, that was the time for me.
Yeah, that was the time that we were all hyper into them too, which is the best time to see the band, right? I'd like to see them right now. I'd go see them tomorrow if they were in Portland, but you know, it is what it is when it comes to bands coming here. They've come, and maybe at some point they'll have a reason to come back, and we'll go see them, and maybe someday we'll get one of them on to talk.
So we're 25 years in. The band re-recorded the album a couple of years ago. I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I'm like, for me, I'm always going to prefer the original. You know, it brings me back, as we just talked for an hour. It brings me back. What I'm more interested in is the why. Why do this? And I can personally think, without even knowing this story, I can think of a million reasons, right? It's gain control. It's you don't like the production, the mixing, whatever it is. Million reasons. I actually don't know why they did it, but I'm more interested in that side of it than, you know, because who like Thrice has done it, you know, Incubus has done it. A lot of bands are doing it. Maybe not a lot, but some.
Famously, Taylor Swift has done it.
Taylor Swift, there you go. And her reason is, you know, control of
the music, which
the
makes sense to me.
And the payday and all that. So I'm not going to speak to the sound of it because I haven't spent enough time with it.
Same. I'm right there with you. I haven't spent enough time with it, and I'm with you with this record in particular. I think I want the original, the OG. I get why bands want to do that, especially if maybe they feel like they've got different tricks and have learned new things that they wanted to do to songs over time, and maybe don't want to like completely change them. I like what you mentioned Thrice when they did it a couple of years ago with artists. They brought in different artists to play on each song. That's kind of a cool way to do it. Like, there's a bunch of reasons to do it. There's a bunch of reasons not to do it. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. It's probably case by case basis. But this is one that I haven't spent a lot of time with because if I'm gonna put one on, I'm gonna put the original on with this one.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. We'll probably never find out. We'll never know unless we're in the industry at that level or in a band. It's hard to say. The way I look at it is pretty simple. It's like there's such a different sense of the way things have transpired lately. Like it used to be like you get a tattoo, you got it forever. You got the ink, you're stuck with it forever. Well, no, now there's laser removal. So like with a record, it's like it used to be you put it out. We've talked to not a million. We've talked to a ton of artists on this podcast. It's like, no, once it's handed over to the label, that's it. You guys argued about it. You went back and forth. You rehash things. You record it. That it's handed in. That's final draft. Well, now with this, it's like not really. And what does that mean to the fan? What does that mean to the band? What does it really mean ultimately? Viscerally, I don't really know. Other than what's done is done, man. Like what are we doing here? I think it ultimately comes down to, if I'm being just completely blunt, it likely is control, right? It's likely control. I read somewhere in researching for this episode that certain things didn't kind of like work out so well live. Well, dude, fuck it. Sorry, that's the way you wrote it. Deal with it. That's me being extremely candid. But you wrote it, so write it out. But if it's a control thing or monetary thing, that's a whole different ball of wax that I don't know enough about, but I can assume gets pretty complicated with legacy people involved, old managers, whatever you want to call
all
it.
of
So,
that.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot behind the scenes that we just don't get to know, and I'm okay with that too.
Well, the other side of it is like, it is a good way to bring attention to that record. And why would you do that if you want to tour off it? But at the same time, you can still do that just by touring the anniversary of the record versus re-recording it. You know what I mean? There's different ways to do it.
Add a couple songs that were B-sides, blah, 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 blah. There's a million ways to do that too, right? And we've seen it. That's been a thing for 15, 20 years now. Bands either repressing or adding a couple songs or giving you a deluxe edition, et cetera, and then touring off of it.
It used to just be remaster, which was still the same record, just, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Change the mastering.
Cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. But definitely not changing the arrangement of the song.
You don't have to remaster it. It was mastered in Maine. We're all set.
Exactly.
Well,
Maine
that's
stays on top.
25 years out. For me, this is like, for my money, OG Incubus head, Make Yourself, Science, Morning View. That's the sequence for me.
The three for you? All right. Do you have a top? Is that your top three, Nate, or does it move around for you?
I think it is Science 1. So it's probably Science, it goes in order actually. Science, Make Yourself, Morning View. But it does toggle back and forth between Make Yourself and Science sometimes when I'm like, wow, well, like Make Yourself was like my era, right? When like people talk about like, oh, dude, I ran to the store to grab Led Zeppelin and they played, the LA Forum like a week later. Like that must have been rad. So for us, it was like that for Incubus with Make Yourself, call it what I was, talking about the State Theater earlier. But if I'm talking about like, this record slaps, this is fucking incredible music. I'd be remiss if I said this isn't number one, and then Science takes number one. But yeah, and it's only because of that insane technical ability that Morning View is 3, because it's just like you're looking at 3 different bands really when you look at all 3 of those records stacked. Yeah,
that's a good point. I'd probably go Make Yourself, Morning View, Science, but it depends on my mood too. I would agree with you. Like if I wanted to get a little funky, it's Science all day. If I wanted to get a little kind of heavy edge with a couple of slower tracks, it's Make Yourself. And then if I wanted to slow it down a little bit with a little bit of the heavy edge here and there, it's Morning View. So it depends on the day.
I think that, like you said, that just speaks to the power of the catalog. That's like when we did the Soundgarden
Super
record
Unknown.
Retro. Yeah, yep. Super Unknown. When we said, hey, we were talking about Cornell's best, vocal performance on records, and everyone online had a different opinion. That just speaks to the power of his voice. And with these guys, I think the first half of the catalog, I'm not going to be mad at anyone saying whatever their favorite is. Now, if they said 8 is their favorite, I'd be like, okay, you're probably older and wrong.
Yeah, or really young and wrong.
Yeah, either one. But yeah, I mean, Make Yourselves one, guys. I mean, come on. Get real.
Make Yourself's incredible.
It is a good one.
It's really tough. And if I'm going to drag this out a little bit longer, I wish
rather
they had
not, but we can keep going. Go ahead.
I wish they had just pulled the 311 and just stretched it out a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Just pulled the Science.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Make
with
Yourself,
you there.
Morning View, and just stretch that into like 6 or 7 albums. That would have been.
I mean, just a second science-y type of record would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen the next record after Science that was still in that kind of vein. It didn't have to be the same. It didn't have to be Science 2.0, but where they were taking chances a little bit on that side of things. Because I think they would have crushed that too. I mean, they crushed it with Make Yourself, but
yeah,
I think, like Anthony said, it's a testament to the catalog. It's a testament to them as musicians. They're just good musicians.
I guess
and
just
together we're great.
Yeah, like Grassroots, Transistor Blue. Like That could have been science. Fungus
It's a
among
great
us.
what if, Nate, because I don't want it now. Like if they were like, yeah, it's time, we're going back to science. I'm like,
yeah.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
In 98, yeah, like there's an alternate reality where not only is Circles of Morello riff, but there's a hidden fucking Incubus record in there. 98.
I don't hear it, bro.
Hold the audience. Let's go.
No, you're probably right. I don't know how I missed it. Oh man, good stuff, boys. This is always fun. Happy to talk music with my two homies on a weekly basis, and to dig into Morning View and to dig into Incubus in general was a good time. And I'm ready to do it again next week.
Back at it. And hey, don't get mad at us if we didn't talk about Mexico in depth. You know, we only this is an hour. We chatted for an hour. We hit the good stuff. We hit the themes, some of the songs. But yeah, if you're listening, settle the debate for us. Like, is it Make Yourself? Is it Science? Is it Morning View? What's the best Incubus record?
Or is it Like Grenade? I mean, hit us up.
Yeah. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. It's all subjective. But yeah, it's been real. Until next time.
Peace, podheads.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.
Wow.